Capri, and welcome to episode 154 of We the GamerCast. Comes to you on iTunes, Google Play, and mother-loving YouTube every single Monday. I hope you're doing great. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing, hitting the subscribe. You're gonna have new episodes every week. Like I said, every Monday. I don't know, I'm going off course here. Stick to the script. Thank you for coming, for sharing, retweeting, and all that kind of stuff. Guys, if you're new, here's the deal. Every week I have sweet hangs with strangers from the internet, and if you want to be on the show, it's very easy. Just tweet at me, at Sean Capri, Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. I've been saying that for a long time. I said that since before Discord was a thing. You can also, find me on Discord and all that other stuff. Contact me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's a sneaky way to get my Twitter handle in there. And now I cannot be introduced anywhere I go. Even at work, I've got, Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants under everything on my contact list, everything. Guys, I hope you're doing great. It's coming a little hot here on the mic. Let's back this mic off a little bit. Hope you're having a great day. Before we get into all of this stuff, the video that you're watching on YouTube, the reason we have people come back as returning guests is all thanks to our friends at patreon.com/makeusbetter. You guys make this show and so many other shows better. It's probably, in my opinion, it's the best Patreon on the internet. So thank you to our platinum executive producer, Mr. Corey Hicks at twitch.tv/chicks_18. And our gold executive producers, Mr. Moody himself, and the guys from Quest for Pixels. Quest for Pixels. I need to do the arsonist had oddly shaped feet. Or the Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Sheldon, Benedict, Tony Baker, the guys from Quest for Pixels. And our gentleman executive producers, Dude427, Martini Jean, Aaron Doherty, David Ray, Jesse Armstrong, Joel Brooks, James Johnson, Dr. Doom, Tim Aulph, and Bobby Miller. Tim Aulph, killing it, man. I'm seeing you pop up everywhere. I'm loving the support. Bobby Miller, one of the nicest guys on the internet. Everybody, thank you guys so much. It's hard to, call people out, and, then you end up leaving people out, so I always feel weird about that. So I just want to let you guys know I appreciate all of you. Guys, this is Father's Day as I record this. We're going to talk to a mother today when you're listening to this. Amanda Hicks, her husband, Corey, was on the show, a year and a bit ago. It's been a long time friends. This is an all Canada episode, so don't be surprised if you're going to hear all of the accents come out. Last week, of course, wait, those notes are not right at all. It was Eric Green. I gotta update this little script here I got off to the side here. Eric Green, The Art of Bacon. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode, and I know a lot of people reached out and said it was nice. So thank you guys for that. I want to give a couple of shout outs. There's a couple of episodes you guys, I know how good they are. You don't know. But Pete Barbaro, Fiona McKinnon, and Mr. Moody, all in the can. Summertime is nuts. I gotta have a couple of these things in advance so that, just in case I'm gonna be going camping pretty soon, which is nuts. It's we're into the back half of June, and I don't know how that happened. So I appreciate all the conversations I've had. I feel I don't know, guys, they're good. You just know they're good. As soon as you get off the call, you're like, I can't wait to share that one. I literally can't. All the people who are signing up on Patreon, thank you guys so much. Forward Past Thinking and, Mikhail Trujillo, thank you for coming back, man. Today is Father's Day, as I mentioned. I'm realizing now on my video, none of this audio is going through, so I'm gonna have to fix that after the fact. Holy crap. Windows updated, earlier this week, so must have reset up a couple of my things. As Pete Barbaro found out all too well as we recorded on Friday night. Father's Day, I'm realizing how I'm just tired, man. I was watching Luke Lohr's stream yesterday, and I just crashed watching it. I'm I'm gonna jump in. Yeah, let's play some Gears of War. Let's do it. And then I crashed. Then I woke up, and it wasn't long. It was maybe 20 minutes, and I'm okay, maybe I think I missed out on that. Maybe I'll play some Fortnite. And I crashed in the middle of that. And I woke up and can I just play some God of War? And then I fell asleep again. So I'm gaming and sleeping in 20-minute intervals here, and I'm just trying to figure it out. If the video, the eyes are just a little, they're not even bags. They're just they're little peepholes. But the energy is still inside. My eyes closed. It's such a weird thing, man. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know how much to get into this thing with you guys. We really quickly before we get into my chat with Amanda. Earlier this week, Lincoln has fallen. He's got some bumps and bruises. He cut his lip. He's got a big fat lip. And, our older dog, he's 14 years old and he's going deaf. He's got bad kidneys. He's on medication. He's got a repaired knee. He had tore his ACL a couple of years ago. He's at the end of his days, pretty close here. And he got spooked by Lincoln. Lincoln kind of snuck up on him, but not really. It's just the dog is going deaf. And Harley didn't realize that he was there, and he kind of got spooked, and he turned around and kind of gave him a little chomp. Not a chomp, like an open mouth, like headbutt, but with his teeth. So Lincoln had some pretty good marks on his head. So long story short, Chelsea and I are just trying to figure out what to do about this. So we've been having the ultimate talk, and I think we've kind of like backed off on that, and we're looking at maybe surrendering him to some sort of like senior dog rescue, foster, adoption type of organization. So we're looking into that. And honestly, like, that seems to be harder. I feel like that's probably what's going to happen, where in my mind, I didn't think that we were actually going to be putting him down. Because you look at him and he looks fine. But the problem, like, that bite, the headbutt, I don't want to even call it a bite, because he didn't, like, tear skin. But he definitely had when a dog gets the teeth out and everything, and he kind of just, like, went for it. So, kind of scary. And, 2 inches lower, and that's his eyeball. So we just have to have Lincoln's best interest over really anything else. That sucks, man. Maybe that's what's been draining. But anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know what was up. I will be letting you know. I'll have more probably by this time next week. So just need to chat about that. I hope you guys are enjoying Fortnite. There's no smooth way to transition to that. Everybody is freaking playing Fortnite, and I feel like that is really all because of Nintendo Switch. And the announcement that it's there has breathed new life, well, at least for me, and I think for a lot of people. The crossplay, I think, is a big deal. But I hope you guys are enjoying it. Lots of activity in the Mike is Better Discord. So if you guys want to just check it out, even Bobby, even the Nintendo guru, is playing Fortnite, man. It is nuts. We have one voice chat channel in there for Fortnite, but it's overflowing. We're gonna have to make a couple new ones. And all anybody talking about is Fortnite. I can't ignore it. Even I might be jumping into Fortnite every once in a while. So let's go. Let's get some. I still need to find time to finish God of War because I'm into it. And this is really, like, Dave won't let me talk about God of War on the Xbox Drive. And certainly there's no space for that on If We Were at Nintendo. But I think that I'm running out of time here, guys. This is long enough. Why don't maybe I'll talk about it a little more next week when I don't have a Father's Day thing to chat about, or hopefully the dog situation works itself out by then. Why don't we get right into it? And hopefully by next week, all my crap works here. My guest this week, Amanda Hicks, one of the smartest, most articulate women I've had on the show. I can't wait for you guys to hear this episode. I wanted to just pull little nuggets from her big old brain about parenting. So this is a very parenting focused episode. We do get to games. I feel like we both kind of like went in each other's yards for a little bit here, where she came into the podcast thinking like, let's talk about games. And I came in thinking going like, I need to learn something from you. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a great time talking to Amanda. Here she is, Amanda Hicks. At Twitter, at ahicks7, Hicks7. Here she is, Amanda Hicks. Just all of a sudden, June is like totally nuts, and I should expect that because I feel like every June is pretty nuts. So I don't know what it is about this month, and we don't even have kids in school or like getting out of school. So
I was gonna say, wait until Link is in school. It changes everything for June.
I know, and that's one of my favorite things that I hear from parents is the just wait thing, where you're like it's not even like a complaint. You're like kind of just commenting on how things are going. You're like, oh man, like, things were easier without this, and it's like, oh, but you just wait. Things are gonna get like way worse for you pretty soon.
My favorite is always when like parents of little ones are like, oh man, it's so expensive. And I'm like, oh, you just wait until sports.
That's all I think about. Like that's all I know, like really from growing up and watching. Like my parents had 4 kids, and so hockey was not even a question. It was like community soccer, where like the jersey and the shorts and the socks were all free. So like the cheapest sport you could possibly imagine. Like hockey was like, no, you get like leftover hockey sticks that people leave at the rink. And you're like, that's how we play hockey at our place.
Yeah, well, Jordan is in Taekwondo, which is not. She is in swimming, which, like, to me, swimming is not an activity. That's a life skill.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Survival. Mm-hmm.
Then she does basketball in the winter. Mm-hmm. And this year, she has decided she wanted to do football.
Football?
So football also. Yeah, so that's where her and Corey are actually right now. So that just started this week, which is huge. I thought Taekwondo was a huge commitment, and football is 4 times a week.
What the crap? So like, let me walk. Okay, we're gonna stick on this for a little bit because like, whose idea was it for all of these activities? I think what I gather from a lot of parents and like where I'm starting out from, and I feel like it's just a slippery slope to like 4 times a week doing football, is like I just whatever they want to do, they get to pick, and we'll just like make it happen for them. And next thing you know, you're at a football field 4 times a week.
Yeah. So I have a family of 2. My brother and I were both in tons of activities.
Mm-hmm.
And then Corey's parents, I don't know how they did it, but he came from a family of 4, like
Mm-hmm.
you. His siblings and him were always in tons of activities too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they did it. But so, like, we had Jordan in like the stairs activities when she was younger. I put her in dancing because I was like, oh, she'll like dancing. No,
Not even a little bit.
Well, she did it for a whole year, and then it was the next year, and I was like, Jordan, are you excited for dancing? And she's like, yeah, I guess so. And I was like, wait, what are you excited about? I get stickers at the end of class, and I get to see my friends. And I turned to Corey, I'm like, we're paying $1,000 for stickers.
Yeah.
So no.
So like, okay, so what was her reaction from that though? Like when you almost had to make a decision to like kind of pull her out, or did you help her kind of realize maybe you're not actually liking this? Like what's that? Because I just realized today he's starting to walk. But not really. Like he's using like strollers and stuff to like push around and stuff. He's like he's a 9-year-old man, you know, pooping himself and using a walker and everything like that. And so I'm realizing that like I already know that kids are learning things for the first time, and like you just know that, but like seeing it happen, you kind of have to like even dumb it down even further of like how the synapses are happening in the brain and how kids are learning about these things. So even learning like this isn't for me is not, I feel like that's an advanced thing that maybe Jordan is. She's 12 now. Is that right?
12 now. When
Yeah.
she was 4. So we put her in dancing from 3 to 4,
Mm-hmm.
and little at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
And it was $1,000 back then.
mm-hmm.
Oh man, what the hell did you guys sign up for? Holy crap.
Yeah, so then we switched from there to Taekwondo, which is pretty much the same amount of money, but a
Mhm.
lot more, like, I felt like she got a lot more out of it.
Yeah.
And she really enjoyed it. So she's been doing Taekwondo since kindergarten. So she's in year 7 of Taekwondo.
So is she like getting like is she upgrading her belt and everything like that? Is she firing Hadoukens now? Like, is that what they're getting to?
So she is a red belt, which means
Holy crap.
Yeah. So next is brown, and then it's black.
So like, how many bricks is she breaking at this point?
Well, we're not in the cement yet, but she can break, a big piece of wood at this point.
That's nuts.
Oh yeah, she could beat me up. We don't
No
want to
kidding.
do that, but she could easily beat me up.
I love that. It's unfortunate that like martial arts is so expensive, because I feel like it's one of the best things out there. I've recently just joined a friend of mine there's a UFC gym on St. Albert Trail. This is an Edmonton podcast, by the way, everybody. So we're gonna talk a little localisms. And we just do like this fight fit course of just like you punch bags, and like I'm not a fighter at all, but I have so much respect for like everything that goes into it. But holy crap, it's so expensive. Like I feel like that's why the default is always team sports. That's teams paying for it, but individual sports are always way more expensive, and that sucks.
Absolutely, but I think also like team sports teach you so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like somebody who has been in like the bar and the like that industry for so long, like
Mm-hmm.
you hire a lot of people right out of school, right? Like they're still in high school or whatever, and I've managed Starbucks for years, and
Mm-hmm.
hiring a lot of people, it's their first job.
Yeah.
A lot of the things I look for in a resume was team sports.
Oh, really?
Because you learn that you're a part of a team and you can't let them down, and that's
Of course.
the work world, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, like, so, and I, because I'm trying to like measure how like default track Lincoln gets on of like, I did this, so he does this. And I'm almost like, I don't want to overreact to that, but like there was a lot of great things that I got opportunities to be part of, like team sports. But I also recognize, like, as I grew up and I watched some of my friends who loved it, that's great for them. But I also recognize, like, for other friends, not so much for them. So I'm just trying to be like super aware of like all the different activities. And to be honest, like Taekwondo is, it again, just probably like a cost thing as well for a family of 4 kids. Just wasn't an option. So it's almost like this, I don't know where Lincoln is going to go. I really want to make sure that he has the options, but also for me to be aware of the options, I think is just so important.
Oh yeah, and I think like it's kind of human nature to like, I was big into the basketball world, so it's human, like want your kid to enjoy something you enjoyed, right? Whether it's games or whether it's sports or whatever, right? Like you get enjoyment from them and you want to pass that on. Remember that just because you get enjoyment from it, they don't.
Yeah.
But Jordan does play basketball and she does seem to enjoy it, not to the same degree that I did, but you know, she enjoys it. She wants to play. We go, you know, to the neighborhood and play together and those types of things too. But I think it's, you can pick up pretty fast if your kid actually,
yeah,
or if they're just doing it to make you happy, if you're paying attention, right?
Well, you even say like, are you liking this? And she says yes, but like if you're really listening, like did she really say, did she mean yes? I think that's super interesting.
Yeah, he was 5 and she was, I want to do, she said karate. She's like, I want to do karate. So we, you know, when we put her in that, and you know, neither Corey nor I have any martial arts like experience or skills or anything, but you know, listening to your kid and putting them in something, and I honestly didn't think she would stick with it for 7 years, but here we are.
And you blink and there it is. Chelsea had posted a video today of Lincoln pushing around his walker, and I just imagined like the video fading to black and then fading open again, and I fast forwarded 10 years down the road and he's like getting into his car and stuff like that. And I was telling this story to a person at work and she's like, yeah, mine has a beard now. And I'm like, oh my god, they grow beards? What? That's, oh, I can't handle it. It's all happening too fast.
Yeah, well, he's going to junior high next year.
Oh my god, you guys are so close in age. How, I want to dive into that. What do you guys? You guys probably look more like sisters than anything, than mother-daughter.
But yeah, she's going into junior high. So friends of ours,
holy crap,
and they were like, "Oh, so junior high," and I was like, "I don't even want to think about junior high. Like, I got in so much trouble in junior high, and I don't want to think like a year away from that. Like, it's, you know, creepy. I don't know if creepy is the right word, but
sure."
Scary almost when you think about you kind of at that age, or you a year or two older than that age, and you're like, oh no, like, and you just kind of trust your parenting and trust that, you know, they're going to make mistakes, but mistakes are learning experiences, but hopefully not too big of mistakes.
Yeah, well, you guys have such a great attitude towards it all. You guys are very, very, very chill. Like, you know, you just set them on the right path and everything will work out. I was listening to when I was talking to Corey about a year and a half ago, and it just like, it just struck me once again. I'm just like, you guys are just so nice. You're just so joyful and it's just lovely. You guys are a lovely couple. But it struck me because you guys, and I want to get your side of the story. I want to get you meeting him. I remember him telling me the story, you guys meeting at a birthday party. I want to get to that in a little bit. But I want to stick on Jordan for just a second here because she's 12. You guys look like 10 years younger than me, and I've got a 1-year-old. Like, how, like, was Jordan, was she, I don't know another way to put this, was she part of the plan?
Yeah, that's totally okay to ask. Okay, so when we first got married, we knew a bunch of people that were having tons of trouble conceiving. So it was just something that we kind of expected because it was something that so many people we knew were going through. We kind of figured that, you know, well, we'll start kind of trying, and we'll this is how
yeah, it'll probably take 4 or 5 or 10 years for it to work out.
Yeah, we're like, it'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
And so, like, the month after, found out. So we actually found out we were expecting 3 weeks after we got married.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
yeah.
So you guys just went right for it. I love it.
Yeah, in a 3-week period, we found out we were expecting. We told everyone we got married because there was 8 people at our wedding, and it was a busy 3-week period. And then, of course, everybody thinks that, well, it was a shotgun wedding because I was expecting, right?
Right.
And Well, we
It
actually
doesn't really work like that.
for
Yeah,
like 6 months. You guys just didn't know about it.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, it, and then we were living in an apartment just off White Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that's not the place to raise a child. So we had to buy our place. We had to, it was a busy 9 months, but, obviously everything worked out for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Time-wise, she was planned, but maybe not quite that fast.
I gotcha. So, yeah, and it's funny, like, moving, so, like, man, getting married, the one thing for friends of mine who are just still getting married now is I feel like I've been going to weddings, and that's why I had to move this to tonight instead of Saturday, because Chelsea's also shooting a wedding, I've got to go to a wedding, suddenly we've got this baby situation, and the one thing that I always tell people is, like, enjoy, like, that moment after the wedding, because you've been so busy planning this wedding forever. It's been like every day, every night you've been working, you come home and you do this thing, you got the wedding on the mind, and then you get married and you're like, holy crap, I got nothing else to do. That's like, it's one of my favorite periods in my life. It's like so notable for me. I just remember thinking, like, we've got nothing else. This is so good. We've moved, everything else is done. But you guys didn't get that. You guys went right into family.
We also didn't have the crazy chaos of planning a wedding.
Fair enough. So small wedding.
Yeah, so we got married at the Citadel downtown.
Amazing. I work across the street.
Yeah, in front of the waterfall, like everything. Beautiful. But there was 8 people.
Yeah.
And that was it.
How come?
My parents don't get along.
Oh, okay.
So, and like, I don't have a very close relationship at all with my mom. So it was very much like I don't really want both my parents there, but we can't really do a big wedding and not have both my parents there.
Right.
Like, knowing that was still the line of, if I would have done that, obviously there's no future of ever having a relationship, because you can't kind of go back from that.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. So, and I was honestly, like, I was never the girl that dreamed of a wedding. It was never something I was interested in.
Yeah.
And I honestly never thought I would get married.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so it was just like, my parents obviously had a really bad divorce. My brother's not, he never probably will be. So, met the right person and got married to get married and to be with that person, not for the wedding. And not saying that that's why other people get married.
Right.
Obviously.
No, some people do.
Yeah, some people do. But so we each invited a couple really, really close friends, like our wedding party. We had a friend of ours come and take photos and be like, record the whole thing, be our videographer or whatever they're called.
Yep.
And that was it. Like, so then the next couple days was a lot of telling people. And that was interesting. People took it a lot better than we thought. Like, we thought there would be a lot of hurt feelings and things like that. But honestly, like, Corey's parents were amazing. When we told them, they were the ones that I was the most nervous to tell.
Oh, like, really?
Oh, yeah. So, my dad works out of town. He's never really here. Yeah. So when we told him, okay, I'll come in town this weekend. We'll go out for dinner and we'll celebrate. And I was like, that was exactly what I was expecting from my dad.
Not a big deal. Like, is that kind of what you wanted to? Like, was you expected, but like that was good?
Yeah. And he was like, that's awesome. So happy for you guys. And that was it, right?
Yeah.
And he came in and we celebrated and all of those things, right? But Corey's parents, just like, I was so nervous to tell them.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't sure how they were going to take it. And I just...
How were you guys before you got married? Like, when you guys were dating, how was your relationship with Corey's parents?
Oh, good. I adore... Like, Corey's mom has since passed away, but I adore his dad and I adored his mom. And, like, such a great relationship. And, like, they had been together, like, they were together for, like, 44 years or something.
Isn't
like
that
that.
Amazing?
Yeah. So I was nervous.
Yeah.
And so they took it so good. And they were like, well, we want to throw you a party. And okay, but that's kind of your thing. Like, if you want to do that, we'll show up. But we didn't want the big
That's
wedding.
my parents. Well, and parties in general were just like, if you guys want to do it, please, like, just let the record show, not expected.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be there, but yes, go for it. I mean, you can't not be there, I guess.
Yeah. So it was quite the ordeal, this party. Like, and
of course it was.
It was at the Royal Glenora, which is a nice, like, place in Edmonton for people not from Edmonton. It's like a country club type thing. There was, I think, 95 people there for dinner, and for the dance, 200.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was quite the event.
Yeah, no kidding.
But it was so much fun. Like, I remember going up to the DJ at one point in the evening, and I was like, hey, this is a list of songs. If you could incorporate them in at some point in the night, that would be great. And he's like, who are you?
Oh. Do I need a name tag, or really?
So I'm Amanda.
Oh my gosh.
I'm one of the parties being thrown for, and he was like, oh, I expected you in white. Like, I was wearing, like, a dark green dress, and I was like, no, I already had that night. Like, nope, this is not my wedding. And Corey's very clear whenever that's talked about, is he's like, no, that was our celebration.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like, and honestly, I couldn't even tell you what night that was. Like, we don't celebrate
That's so funny.
or anything. Like, our anniversary, our wedding, right?
And like that's like emblazoned in your brain, because like honestly, Chelsea and I have to, it's, thank goodness, one of our very good friends cross-stitched a Mario and Peach together in this little like square thing, and the date, our anniversary is at the bottom. We're like, thank God you made that, because like sometimes we forget, is it March, is it April, is it the 30th? Like we're so bad at it, and like we just never, I think I talked to Corey about this too, like we just never did like Valentine's Day. We don't have like those days. Like birthdays and Christmas is like the big deal, and we're like, oh yeah, us, that's a big deal too.
So last year I thought I was going to be away for anniversary just with my work schedule. I've been before, but I ended up going to Dubai for work. Anyways, it ended up getting pushed back a week, so I was here.
How was that? Wait a minute. No, I got, every once in a while I got to totally interrupt, and I apologize. I don't like doing it. But Dubai, what's that like? What's Dubai like?
It was amazing. Honestly, like on the whole Corey and Jordan conversation, I got offered a job when I was there, and if I didn't have a family, I would have never come home.
Oh, snap.
Like, I loved it.
Oh my gosh, really? It just seems like it's not real. Like it's probably one, like unless you see it, you just can't even believe that that's a real place. People live there.
It's amazing. It was so hot. So it was in August.
Oh man, that's no good.
It was so hot, and I have tattoos, so my tattoos had to be covered.
Oh really?
So long sleeves and long pants the whole time. And it was 65 degrees Celsius.
No, that's not a real temperature.
That is a real temperature. So, yeah, it was insane. Like, when
what is that, like 200 Fahrenheit? It's like, that's insane.
It's insane. So, when we were in the hotel, we could wear whatever we wanted.
Okay.
When you left the hotel was when you really had to, like, follow all the
kind of cultural rules, yeah.
Yeah, and so we spent half of our time in Dubai and half of our time in Abu Dhabi, which is only an hour away, 30 years further in the past.
Oh, so really?
Yeah, it's insane. However, like, I loved it. I would go back in a heartbeat.
And you were there by yourself? Or
no, another girl from work.
Yeah, but not family, though. Like,
no,
Corey and Jordan were here. Like, what period of life is this that you were there?
Just last year.
Holy crap! I didn't realize, how did I not even know that? And look, you've lost your tan already.
It's gone, yeah.
And that's Canada for you. Like, you get off the plane, you're like, no, it's just fading off of me. Your tan's like, I don't feel so good. And it just starts to fade away a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, no, just last year, it was coming up a year. So it would have been August last year.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. What an opportunity. Now I want to make the thumbnail for the show. Tom Cruise doing his trick off of that giant tower from Mission Impossible, because I absolutely love Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah. We went to that. So saw that. Like camel riding, went sandboarding, which was amazing.
Come on.
Yeah. So honestly, like I loved it. I would go back in a heartbeat, and I tried to convince Corey to that we should move there. He was not for that at all.
Okay, I have so much to talk to you about today, because I just got back from Vancouver Island, not Dubai. However, just as maybe I had a similar situation where I'm like, I don't want to come back. Like I got back to work yesterday, and I couldn't even hide the fact, a colleague who knows me very, very well was like, you seem very sad today. And I had to I thought I was hiding it. Obviously I wasn't. I'm like, I spent most of my time trying to figure out how we could never come back. Like legitimately looking up housing and where we would live, and trying to figure out, could we have some sort of magical real estate miracle that just makes it all click into place. And of course it didn't happen, and here I am. But I just had this very compelling and potent and powerful kind of inner emotion of just, I want to be here. I want to move, and like life's too short and all that other stuff of like to be like, I don't know about, you're born and raised in Edmonton?
Yeah, born and raised.
So same here, and it's like I have so much respect and admiration for people who can do the move. I think that is so incredible. And so for me, usually I get like when I go on vacation, like New York, San Francisco, or whatever, I'm like, you go there and you're like, well, that was great, and you come back home like, you know what, home is where the heart is, or heart is where the home is, wherever, and I'm good here. And then I go to like Vancouver Island, I'm like, oh my goodness, I really want to be there instead. So Dubai, I don't know, is this like you said you would move there, is that like a life thing, or like just to experience for a few years? Like where was your head and heart at in Dubai?
So I was offered a job there from the company that I was partnered with, to run their bar.
Oh wow.
I like that's my world. Like I love running a bar. Right? Not quite what I do, but I have done it, and I would love to go back to that world at some point. It just, when Jordan was little, working nights like that, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
It's something that I think I'm still young enough that I have the energy to do it, and I think that she's now in the point of her life where I would still see her in the evenings or whatever, right? Like I could make it work.
Yeah.
Something that I've thought about, but yeah, offered that position and I would have said yes in a heartbeat if it wasn't for a family. I couldn't uproot all of them.
Of course.
So different for a female to go and move to Dubai, and like I was treated amazing. Like everywhere I went, like 4 times a day, told that my hair was the color of gold, and all of those things. So I'm like, flattery will get you everywhere. So,
yeah, it's universal.
Yeah, so where they don't treat men who come and take their jobs quite as well.
Interesting.
I don't think Corey would have liked it. Corey also hates the heat.
I can't stand it. I think him and I agree on that. Like when Chelsea and I go on vacation, she's out in the sun, and it's like a line, like the shade draws a line in between us, and I'm hiding. Goodness gracious. Yeah,
that's Corey. So it just, and like it's not a place to raise a family by any. So I would have loved to have said yes. It just wasn't right. And obviously my family comes first. I'm not going to say yes and be like, see you later.
Bye. This sounds amazing.
But at the same time, like, I don't know if I really have any emotional connection to Edmonton.
Yeah.
I moved if the right opportunity came up. I don't know if Corey feels quite the same way. His whole family's here where my family's not.
Right.
So I think that makes it a lot easier.
Did they move away? Like you were born and raised here and then everybody left, or how did that work?
My brother lives in Saskatchewan now. My brother has always worked out of town.
Okay.
So he has a house here, but he's here maybe a couple days a month.
Yeah.
Like I really wouldn't see him any more or any less if I moved somewhere else. And that's it. So like it, where Corey's whole family lives here still. I don't know. And like Jordan's so close to Corey's dad. Like they go camping in the summer every weekend.
Oh, get out of here. Every weekend?
We are childless every weekend in the summer.
Come on. That is a good deal. You know what? So what's the other grandkid situation like for Corey's dad?
Okay, so there's an older grandchild who's Corey's closer in age to his niece than he is to his brother.
Right. Yeah, because he's got 11 years between his brother, and there's 2 girls in between, right?
Wow, you have a great memory.
No, I just listened to it this afternoon.
Yeah, and then his niece is 8 years younger than
him.
So we're very close with his niece. And then we also have a nephew who's 4 months younger than Jordan.
Holy crap, there's so many kids running around.
Oh, I'm so not done. And then Corey's sisters. So that the niece and the nephew there are from Corey's brother.
Yeah.
And then Corey's sister, his one sister has a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. And then his other sister has a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Yeah, so it's just all over the place.
Yeah. So Jordan was really like the first real grandchild because
there it is.
Second set of parents, right? Just like the life situation. She lived there with them for a while. So Jordan got and is still getting very spoiled because she's really the first
That was the basis of my question, because Chelsea and I were not first out of the gate. My sister is younger than me. She's 5 years younger than me. I should know that off the top of my head. I always have to run through the kids. Like, my brother's 2, no, she's only 3 years younger than me. Holy crap! I'm not even close. I'm not even close. But she was first to it, and my niece gets like all-star treatment from my parents. And like, it's not like Lincoln gets like thrown into the trash, but like, it's not close. Like, it's not even, they didn't come over for a month until after he was born. Like, they were well over, like they saw him in the hospital and stuff. Like, they were there when he was born, but like, I was off the entire first month of Lincoln's life, and I didn't see him come over. So I was very curious to see, like, so Corey's dad takes Jordan every weekend, and I'm like, that sounds a whole lot like my sister and my parents kind of situation. It was first out of the gate thing.
So the one thing that kind of saves that situation, I guess, is Corey's dad's lake lot is actually just down the like lot, like 2 lots over or a couple lots over is Corey's sister, who's out there with him. So like, Jordan goes out, she'll kind of like help watch the kids, and she'll like, she's a cousin, and she gets really close, like she has a great relationship with those cousins because she sees them all the time, right? And then like, Corey's dad obviously invited Sean, who's 4 months younger than Jordan, would invite him out too. Just like his parents didn't feel comfortable with him always going out. They, like him a little closer, where I'm like, go, have fun. And Corey and I go and do things. We go to movies, and it's like, so, it sounds bad, but it's so nice for us.
Right?
So time too, right?
Well, now it's all starting to make sense. Like the whole, like, because you guys are always, it seems like you're always smiling, very, like, just, you guys seem to have just a great time together. And maybe that, like, this is such a huge part. I feel like, so Chelsea and I come at this, like, from slightly different angles. We're not completely off on it, but like, I very much come from the sort of school of thought that, like, you take care of yourself so that you can be the best for your kids. Chelsea is of the, like, I'll run into like oncoming traffic, and it's not like I wouldn't do that, but it's like, if I have a broken leg, I'm not going to be able to like help this kid escape kind of thing. So it's where I'm still wanting to be there for him, but I feel like if I'm not at my best, I'm not going to be good for him either. So we have a balance. We balance each other out on that sense.
I think it's so easy for parents to, especially at the first couple of years, kind of lose yourself. And I think I lost myself in the first couple of years. Yeah. But I think it's so important to try to find yourself again. And you have to be who you are to be a good parent. And I think, I don't know, raising a daughter, and not that it's any different to raise a son, but one of the things that I'm so aware of is I really want Jordan to be a strong female, and to really, know who she is and feel comfortable with that and all of those things. And I think that that's important to show her that, I have hobbies and she is my world, but she's not my whole world. And I think that that's something that kids need to know. And I think that that's something that in this day and age, isn't always, I don't know, politically correct to say. It isn't. Yeah,
because you're always trying to be like some textbook version of a parent that is like made up out of nowhere, really. And I've been very open with like a lot of the struggles that I had about when Lincoln was about 6-7 months old. And I'm like, and I started seeing therapists, and one of her first questions to me that I found was like very, like, she knew why she was asking it. And I'm like, I don't understand even the question was like, what is your baseline? Like, what is your reference for parenting? Like, where are you establishing the expectation? And I'm like, I guess I don't have any, like, not for this stage. I have that for when I'm older, like when I got older and in like elementary and junior high, but for this stage, I obviously don't remember my parents. So my only baseline was like Chelsea, and she was just killing it. And it's like, for her, she's been ready for this forever and ever. Like, she reads all the books and she's part of all the mom groups. And so she knows and she's anticipating stuff. And I wasn't there. So for me to be like in this, like losing yourself and also like feeling like underperforming and all those things, just, it wasn't a comfortable place to be in. So I know exactly what you mean. Like, I feel like that's maybe more than what you mean of losing yourself in it. But yeah, like, it can be kind of nasty. It's a part of parenting that nobody really talks about, I feel. Yeah. There's a lot of that.
Absolutely. And I think in like parenting life in general, like, it's so easy to think that social media life is life. And it's
Right.
not. People, like, there's shitty... Can I swear?
Yeah. Shitty's
Okay.
not really even like, I think they can say that on TV.
Okay. There's shitty days, there's good days, there's bad
Yeah.
days, all of that. But when you're constantly on, Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and you're comparing your day to everybody's best day,
Yep.
you constantly beat yourself up. And I think that that's unfortunately where we are as parents and where we are as a society.
It's magnified. I feel like that was probably always there. Like, everybody's comparing everybody. And like, I'm very nervous about, like, when Lincoln goes to school and then you just meet up with all the parents. And like, then it's very direct. Like, now you're right, it is social media, but it's like, now you got grades, now you got like, if they're racing, like there's physical activities, like who's wearing what, like all the stuff that you remember as a kid that like really doesn't matter. All of a sudden it's like, does this not matter? Like, how can I say it doesn't matter when it's like, I'm the one who's like dressing this and teaching this kid and all these other things.
Oh yeah.
How has that been for you guys? Because you're like, Jordan's 12 now, so like you've actually been able to see all the seeds that you've planted over, like, within like her being a toddler through her early years. Now she's a young woman, 12 years old, man.
Yeah. So, well, when Jordan went into kindergarten, we lucked out. We got a really great group of kids that were with her, a really great group of parents. I would say like our closest friends now are parents that we met when Jordan went into kindergarten.
Oh, that's awesome.
Best friends. The parents were planning a trip to Vegas with them. We just lucked out, right? Like, just luck draw that they happen to be in the same class. And there's a group of 6 of us moms that we still go out for dinner together every once in a while.
Good for you.
And like, some of the kids have switched schools, some of the parents have moved, that they've moved away, but we're still close. But some of those kids have siblings that they're like, it so wasn't like this in the other grade. Like, kind of lucked out with this group that we all kind of clicked and it just worked. But it's so easy to, like, error, and especially like when your kid's little, like, I've always been more of a tomboy, and I remember being like, and I hate that term, but it's just easy to describe it.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, I would be like, why don't you wear this? And she'd be like, no! And we'd have, like, she would not be happy if I won, or I would not be happy if she won, and like, it would be like, you can't wear sweats every day to school. You just can't. Like, I need something else. Because, and it wasn't so much like of the, like, why should I care? She's comfortable. What does it matter? But it was what are other people going to do?
Right.
Like, sweats every day to school. And it's like, it really shouldn't matter, but it does, unfortunately.
I mean, there's a balance of it too. And I'm sure these are conversations you have in your own mind too, of like, yes, it doesn't matter, but also like, what should her own standard be of like presenting herself, like, but then why does that matter? Like, it's such a back and forth. Like, I remember, like, junior high for me, sweatpants, like, not sweatpants, track pants, and especially tearaways, and that's just what age I am. And you better not remember, or better not forget to put the shorts underneath, because somebody's ripping your pants off and you're just like, you're just running the gambit on that one. It's gonna happen.
Yep. Yeah. So, I don't know, she started to hear more about, like, fashion and all of that, but it's also, like, it's so funny, because we constantly have the conversation of she'll get changed, and she'll come out to the kitchen or whatever, where being 4 yards, like, my shorts are too short, and we're like, no, they look fine, and we're like, what a backward conversation we're having. She's saying my shorts are too short, I don't want to go out wearing these, and we're like, no, they're fine, and Corey's like, I'm your dad. If I say they're fine, they are fine.
That's really funny. Yeah, if anybody's going to be vetoing these shorts, is Corey like, how is, like, as a dad, is he as carefree as he seems in just everyday life, or does he have a strict side to him?
No, I would say that I'm more of the strict one. Like, he'll every once in a while, he'll be like, be nice.
That's the discipline.
Yeah, like, to me, he's saying that because he knows that I'm about to explode. I say we do a pretty good job of kind of taking turns of who's gonna, and it kind of depends on what the issue is, and but he can definitely be a discipline, like, be like that if he needs to. And honestly, I think the best thing for Jordan and Corey's relationship is the fact that I do work out.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you cut out just for a second there.
Sorry. I think the best thing for their relationship is the fact that I do work out of town sometimes.
Okay.
Like, I'm on probably 1 week every 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to be all the roles then, right?
Mm-hmm. I get that 100%. Like, I just had a day of it, and like Lincoln, I feel like if I get a day with just Lincoln, the next 3-4 days are like he's looking for me. He's like excited to see me and everything like that. But if like we kind of get back to normal, like our 5-day work week where I'm gone most of the day, then it's like, oh yeah, Dad's home, like whatever. But I get a full Saturday with him, then it totally changes everything. So I totally understand like how a week would do that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So are there more on the way? Are you tired of answering that question?
Sorry?
I'm sure people ask you all the time. Like, are you guys gonna have more? Were you ever wanting to have more than one, or that's it?
I was the most miserable pregnant person ever.
Are you?
Oh, it was bad. Like,
yeah.
I was so miserable. So like my go-to answer for that has always been, for the sake of all of my relationships, including my marriage, we stopped at 1.
Yeah, totally fair.
And I don't know. Like I said, I never really thought I was gonna get married or really have kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so happy with Jordan, and she's amazing. But I think we really got like the best of both worlds. Like, she loves sports. She loves, she'll go and get pedicures with me, and she really like kind of have the best of both worlds with her, with still 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think once you got past like age 4, people stop bugging you.
Oh, you're like, okay, yeah, no, you guys are probably. It's funny because Chelsea, there's 6 years between her and her sister, so she got to like pretty fully like grow up and like kind of come to know the house by herself, and then all of a sudden there's this baby around. But she's been taking care of like somebody quite a bit younger than her for a long time, so I think that's maybe where part of that comes from for her.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
On Chelsea's podcast right now, we're talking all about parenting.
I know. Well, that's I had to ask you, because I mean, like, I don't know if you get this from other people, but I think you should talk to Chelsea about having guests. I'm just gonna put this out here on apparently they should have guests. The only thing is, if you think that rescheduling with me was tough, like, God, I see them rescheduling back and forth, and that's nuts.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, no, I've tweeted at them a few times, and I've like said comments and stuff. I listen to theirs all the time, for sure.
I love listening to the two of them. I mean, the whole like one of them's Canadian, one's American. Like, they actually, I could get into all the differences between the two of them, but completely different like styles, and even just from a mom and dad's perspective, I think is different. Like, even if her and I were to do the podcast, it'd be interesting because she knows all the things, and I'd just be like, I don't know, whatever you say. That sounds logical to me. So yeah, I'm loving that. But I wanted to talk to you, but I always want to just like grab nuggets wherever I can. Like, I feel like, and I was talking to Katie Berto about this as well. I'm going to ask you a similar question that I asked her, because I always like to see just what people are up to and just like what the direction they're taking. I don't know necessarily that there's anything like specific anybody can tell me, like, do this when this happens. Like, when the hell is that situation gonna, like, that exact situation gonna manifest in my life where everything lines up to be the exact same? So I don't necessarily look for that, but like, the question I asked Katie, and I'll ask you, is like, what do you want for Jordan? And she's a little older than her kids are. She's certainly a little older than Lincoln is. But like, what did you want for Jordan? And now, like, is she on a path that you intended for her, you wanted for her? And now moving forward, like, what do you see for her moving as she gets into junior high here?
Yeah. Wow. What a question. Okay. I think one of the biggest things that as a parent, hopefully all parents want for their kid, is like them to be comfortable with themselves, them to be like accepting of themselves, whatever that means, right? Like, honestly, we've talked to Jordan, and different people feel different ways about this. I'm not trying to be political, or political is not the right word, but like, we'll talk to Jordan a few times of like, hey, when you get older and you start dating a boy or a girl, like, whatever, like, she knows that, like, we talk very open about that. And she's never said anything to make us feel that way, but we also want her to know that we don't have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. Like, other people might, whatever, that's their choice. But for us, like, it's, hey, you are who you are, and be comfortable with that. Be happy with that. Mm-hmm. So I think I've worked very hard, I think, to raise her to be a strong female. And that's the way that I was raised. That, I was raised with a 4-year-old, like 4 years older than me, brother. Mm-hmm. And it was never that I couldn't do something to help the girl. It was, I was in there wrestling. I was in there playing ball. I was in there like, my front tooth is broken because of street hockey, right?
Nice.
Like I was out with the boys.
Yeah.
I was all that things, and that's very much how we wanted to raise her. Was like she's never been told she couldn't do something because she was a girl. When she wanted to play football, it was you might be the only girl on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And like that's to me that's amazing. I'm so happy that she's that comfortable with who she is that she doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just like, she ran for class president and things like that. Like, she's very confident. I think that's, obviously there's a difference between egotistical and confident.
Mm-hmm.
But I think confidence is something that I've always really strived for her to have. And I think that that's something that can go far in life and to know that, we've been very honest with you. You're going to mess up. Own it.
Yeah.
Learn from it. Like, don't hide it. If you made a mistake, that's fine, but own it and learn from it. Because adults, we constantly make mistakes, but you have to own it and learn from it. Otherwise, your work life, all of that is going to be in, you're going to get fired. All of those types of things, if you don't own it.
So can kids fail in school right now? Like I never know where this topic goes back and forth. It seems like zeros or fail marks are not allowed, and then they are allowed. So like where are we at right now? What's school like?
Let's get marks in school. So
yeah.
She doesn't get marks on her report card, but she gets marks in school.
Okay.
But you learn what the report card things mean. Like there's like proficient and there's excels and there's I forget the other one.
But no fail?
It's like a fail, but a nice word.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You can fail,
mm-hmm.
but not the same way we could fail.
Right. Like where it like would actually like hold you back or like so, I guess that's the ultimate thing for us. Like is that not a thing anymore?
I think it still is, but the parent has to agree that the child should be held back.
Yeah, I think that's the way it was back in the day. Yeah. Okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah, there's still going to be kids held back because I think in her grade 2 there was a kid held back.
Yeah. Oh man.
But like the parents agreed that it was the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
But like they still get kept in for recess. They still get they get sent to the principal's office. They get like all those types of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they can still fail, and you have to sign tests. So you see if they get 91 or if they get a 56, right?
Yeah, no kidding. So one of the topics on Chelsea's show, now that we're just going to cross over into that, was at what age should a kid get a cell phone? Does Jordan have a cell phone?
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Did she just get one? Or when did that happen?
No. So she's had a cell phone probably since she was about 10.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, a couple different reasons for that. Corey and I both have work phones. So our personal phones were just sitting around
mm-hmm.
because we don't use them at all. Like Corey's had work phones forever, and I have a personal phone that I haven't used in 3 years, right? So and Corey and Corey's dad are both very much like buy the latest technology.
And that was going to be my thing. Is that I'm very similar. Like it's just around. So does that lend you to just have the things for them?
Yeah. So Corey's dad, when he bought, I forget what phone it was, but I don't know what phone, but one of the new iPhones years ago, he was like, "Hey, I have this phone. Can I give it to Jordan?" And we kind of thought about it for a while, and I was really glad that he, respected us enough to come talk to us.
Yeah.
To her. We kind of talked about it for a while, and we were like, okay, sure, because we think, she'll be good, and she can use it only when we kind of say so.
Right.
And at first, plan set up, she just used it like as a gaming phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started walking home from school. So she started walking home from school in grade 5. And I want to be able to like find my phone and see where she is at all times. I want her to be able to call us when she gets home. The next year, she started walking to school. Like if I'm home, but we also live super close.
I'm so sorry, Amanda. You're kind of just a little bit. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So she started walking home from school, and then later she started walking to school. And once she was doing those things and she wasn't around us, it was, she needs a plan. I need to know where she is. I need to be able to find her on Find My Phone. I wouldn't be able to contact her. So that was really the deciding factor for us. The phone.
Yeah, it kind of like, it throws out all those like ideological sort of like, no, like I want to like keep this away from them or whatever. But like the basic primal, like I just need to know where they are, kind of trumps like kind of a lot of the other stuff. So yeah, we've set up a reminder. So Johnny, who does the show with Chelsea, we have a calendar reminder set for April 14th, 2027, when Link turns 10, to see, we all got to catch up and see, does he actually have a phone at that? And like the joke is, probably not, because it'll all be like implanted in the back of his head, and he'll be using that to catch up with his driverless car and all of that business.
Jordan was 10, so that's what the right time period.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I mean, that's what I'm here for. I just want to know, like, what are the directions? It sounds like Jordan's doing great, so I'll just do whatever you guys are doing. I'm game for. I wanted to ask you, I was going to get into the meeting, Corey, but if anybody wants to go, because I'm not going to have time for it tonight, but it's episode 68 was when Corey was on here. So that was like a year and a half ago. A lot has happened since then. But I wanted to ask, because I put my foot in my mouth when I was talking to him, because I always thought that, especially at that time, that you were just as much into gaming as he was. And certainly at the time, no, he was mentioning that he was trying to get you into some Telltale game stuff. And I know that the father-daughter stream nights still happen. Yeah. So are you now still the only non-gamer in the house? Like, she's got her phone, she's playing games with dad and everything. Like, how have you resisted? And how did you end up on this show too? How did this happen? Take the second one afterwards.
Okay, so I do play some games now, not often, but I will. I do like the Telltale games, and honestly, anything with Batman, you have me sold. Nice. I'm in 100%. You like, I have Batman tattooed on me, so it's easy. You selling point with me.
It's like automatic nerd cred. Like, I got a tattoo. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, no, and like, I love comics.
Yeah.
Like, comics are my thing. I got Corey into comics. Corey had never, didn't read comics before he met me, but I wasn't big into like the video games. Mm-hmm. But I've always liked racing games. So
nice, yeah.
So, and I've honestly streamed a couple times when Corey isn't even home. I've streamed, and like, I'll just like take over his stream. So I like, yeah, like, I'm not huge into gaming, but I will do it.
Yeah.
I really like the Telltale games, and I love racing, but I honestly I love that community. Like,
yeah, man,
it's so amazing. So like, they've really like got me into things, and they've got me into streaming, and they've got me into playing games, because I just like that network and that community, and they're so welcoming.
Mm-hmm. It is that like growing up as a nerd, you're like, where is everybody? Can we please hang out? Like, God, like I'm all by myself here. And then to grow up and go, oh, there's lots of us. We're just spread out all over the freaking world, and not growing up in the same school and all of this stuff. Like, you're absolutely right. The community is, and whatever it is, if it's the kind of funny community or wherever, like, nerds just sort of like find themselves, and we go like, we're friends. Like, my favorite thing ever is to go to like Comic-Con, and it doesn't matter if it's New York or wherever, like local Comic-Con, and you're just in line, and that's what this show is based on, is like my experience with Comic-Con. And like, I don't know anything about this person. All I know is that we're both total geeks, and like, so like, where do you come from? And like, that's the total like inspiration for this show. That's why I love the communities.
Absolutely. Or you just see somebody in a cool, like cool Batman shirt or cool whatever. I know. And you're, oh, I love that. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And you're in conversation with them because of it. It's amazing.
Yeah. So there was never, I don't think I got into it with Corey. There was never like like a little too much gaming. Like, was there, like, from your perspective, or maybe was there maybe a little bit?
There's been slight like addictions.
Oh, okay.
Hey, so I'm here.
Hi.
Hi. So like, Corey, like, and I'm sure that everybody out there listening will be like, well, rightfully so, but Corey was like really into Last of Us, mm-hmm. and at a time putting down the controller for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's really into Fortnite now, which I've actually played a couple times. Mm-hmm. I played it once, and Corey wasn't home, and I was streaming it, and he was fine.
Yes. Okay, can you tweet me next time? Like, tag me or something. Like, let me know when you're doing this. Because I want to just, like, we all got to jump in and hang out when you're streaming. Because that sounds amazing. Not that, and Corey, if you're listening, you should be doing the same thing as well. Like, get that stuff into the Discord, the Make Us Better Discord. Let us know when this is happening. Because,
sure.
Yeah, like, hanging out with people on stream is just the best thing ever.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. But Corey was, I think he was at work. I must have been, like, had that day off or something.
Yeah.
It was the middle of the day, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try. I was racing, and then people were like, no, try Fortnite. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. And it was the first match I did. I, like, failed miserably. I was dead right away, and it was bad. And then the second match I did, I finished 4th. And Corey was like, what?
Holy crap. Was you hiding the whole time?
So maybe I should give it a shot again.
Yeah. So are you hiding the whole time when you come in 4th?
Oh,
like,
I wasn't hiding.
That's not a slight on you. That's a knock on Chelsea. I just want to be fair here. That's her style. She's like, I got in 2nd place, and I'm like, you didn't do anything. But I mean, like, good for you if you're having fun. You do you.
Oh no, like I was moving around and I was destroying buildings.
I love it.
Running and all of those things, but like there was a few times that I would be like, oh my god, there's people, oh my god,
I need to watch this. Oh my gosh, I love, and I am not a huge fan of Fortnite, but I love when it just like when gaming just like permeates and just like becomes part of just every day. I was talking to somebody at work today, and she's like, my son is like doing all these dances and like he's doing this thing, and that floss thing from Fortnite. I'm like, that's not from Fortnite. Fortnite got it from this other, but I'm like, I'm not going to argue about that. If we're talking about Fortnite, let's go. Like, we're talking about people who have, like, no idea about games. They're like, I know this Fortnite thing. I dig it, man.
No. Our, like, 5-year-old niece will come up to, or 5-year-old nephew will come up to us and be like, look, I'm flossing.
That's so funny.
I know. My sister-in-law is like, that's from Fortnite, right? I'm like, do you know what Fortnite is?
Oh, I love it. You know what? Maybe this is like the new, maybe we were all worried that like Minecraft was going to be the thing forever and like parents just didn't understand it. I can at least click with Fortnite. I get it. Like I can understand that. So maybe all hope is not lost. Amanda, I usually wrap things up and then people are like, oh, I wanted to bring something. Did you have any like questions for me? You were so gracious and forthright in coming. You're like, I would love to be on the show. Like, is there anything that you wanted to chat about tonight as I totally took up all your time talking about parenting?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I actually do have a question for you because I feel like, we were going to talk podcasting. So what advice do you have for somebody who wants to start a podcast?
Do it. You're already doing it. This is the first step. Number 1 is get onto We the GamerCast. Try it out. See if you like it. And just do it. Honestly, like, so here, there's so much advice, but I want to break it down simple. I would say that once you've decided on like who you want to do it with and like kind of what you want to talk about, just do 10 of them. Like, however, if you do that once a week or if you do 10 like one day in a row or something like that, to me, I feel like you learn so much just through 10 episodes, and then like every 10 seem to be like, oh, that it's going even better. Do 10 before you really even start like reaching out for feedback, to be honest with you. Just like see if you enjoy and see if you can like, if you enjoy filling up an hour, or if an hour is even how much you want to do. Like maybe it's a half an hour. Like there's this weird thing that we kind of default to an hour with podcasts, but that's not a thing. You can do a half an hour or whatever you want. And so I would say like do 10 and then listen back, see if you liked it and see if you want to keep doing it. And that is, I think, digestible for most people to go, I could do 10. But you start to see like some podcasts have been around. It's like Podcast Beyond's been around like forever. And like when you listen to it, it sounds like they've been doing it forever, and you're not going to sound like that. So get through 10. And I don't know, I've provided feedback to a lot of people after like episode 3, and like you're almost not even ready for feedback yet. So it's decide what you want to talk about, like who's going to be, and then kind of like what frequency, and then just do it. You're already like your phone. I feel like iPhones have such great microphones on them that's pretty much all you need. And then go talk to Dave Moore to get about hosting and stuff like that.
Well, I know we have a way better system. Like I said, Corey wasn't home and I don't know how to do it. So iPhone.
No, this totally works. That's the thing. Like, yeah, the barrier to entry is on a technical level is almost non-existent. And there's so many great people, like, everybody from the Kind of Funny community, and so many great people, so many talented people who can help you with logos and all the stuff that like we might not know how to do.
Yeah.
Totally. And like, if you guys are totally interested, I'm sure Corey is familiar with a lot of this stuff as well, but like super free software to do all of the stuff. One last thing that I would say is I did the first 100 episodes of this show not on video, and I think that really helped me focus on the show itself. And then afterwards we started to really, but I know a lot of people are like, they're getting out of the gate going, we got to do iTunes and YouTube. I would say do audio only, man. Like just kind of just it's just so pure, and just kind of you focus on the show and what you want to talk about.
Well, I think that's people's most common way of consuming it too, right? Is just audio.
I think so. Yeah. There's a pocket of people who prefer YouTube, or for whatever reason that's their channel of choice, but I think it's easiest for you to get into, and yeah, video complicates things quite like more than it should, to be honest.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? What's your podcast?
So, I had this idea a little while ago. I'm still kind of playing around with the name and all of that. But I really wanted to kind of, similar to what you're doing, is like a guest kind of each time. And I wanted to do a guest each time, and I wanted to talk about what TV show made a difference in their life.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah. So
I love it.
A show that's on now, or a TV show like, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or whatever, like it impacted you somehow. And it might be like, hey, you know what? I just loved going home after school and laughing for half an hour. Or you're like, hey, you know what? Grey's Anatomy helped me through some death.
Oh my God, this is a brilliant idea. Yeah. Yes, I will come on and I will talk about Lost. That's it. It's happening.
Perfect.
Yep, I love Lost.
Yeah, no, so I was like, you know what? And then the only thing that I want to know, like I want to know the TV show, in case it's a show that I don't watch, I want to like watch 1 or 2 episodes before I go into the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But a show that I do know, even better, but maybe it's great when it's a show that I don't know, because then I get kind of introduced to something new.
I love it. That's such a good idea. It's so original. I absolutely love it.
Awesome.
And like it's totally gonna like open up to just some of like the either like just totally nothing more than just pure nostalgia, or you're right, like it could, maybe it's helping you through somebody who passed away, or like a breakup, or like who knows what, just like life moments. And or right now, who knows?
We might talk about the show for 10 minutes and then move on to something else, or it might be like, oh my God, remember this episode?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I thought it was funny because like I love TV and not like TV.
So funny.
So I was talking about like that I wanted to do a podcast, and Corey's like, do what you know, and I was like, I love TV.
Yeah.
Like, how do I make this a podcast? So yeah, that was kind of the idea that I had.
I'm already volunteering. Chelsea will be a guest. She actually, her and I have a similar relationship with TV as you and Corey, in that like I used to love TV. When it became maybe a little too much, I just kind of I'm like, I can't handle it. There's just this explosion of TV and Netflix. There's like 17 new series every other day. And so I've stepped away, but I have a TV holds a very, in the traditional sense, like my DVD box sets. I got West Wing box sets over there in the drawer and everything. Yeah. Oh, hang on a second. We're almost done, everybody. Everybody just chill. Some of them are still in the wrapper. Oh my God, there's so many things. There's Always Sunny is in Philadelphia. We got Apocalypse over here. Chappelle Show, X-Men. That one's still in the wrapper. So I still got to actually watch this one. That's getting late. That's second season. So eventually I'll actually watch this stuff. Anyway, great idea. I can't wait. I'm obviously very excited by this.
Well, I'm definitely have you and Chelsea on. I would love to have both of you guys on.
That would be amazing.
No, that sounds awesome. So yeah, I'm working on that for sure. I kept thinking about that I want to get started. I was like, no, I want to wait until after I talk to Sean.
Love it. Well, after we'll close things off here. We'll keep this to an hour, but I will send you links and everything to all of the things. There's a great Skype if you're going to do Skype. There's a great recorder. It makes everything very easy, and you can get started from there. So, okay, Amanda, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking time tonight and rescheduling and everything. Let everybody know. Do you want to let people know where to find you on the Twitter and everything?
Sure. Yeah. So on Twitter, I'm AM Hicks 7.
Perfect. I actually have it wrong on the video. I've got to change that now. So AM Hicks. I totally have it. How did I do that wrong? I have A Hicks.
I should double check. I think I'm AM Hicks 7. Maybe I'm wrong.
This is the. No, I'm looking at A Hicks 7. I'm right. I'm glad we talked about this.
Am I wrong?
I got A Hicks, unless this is a different Amanda Hicks I've been messaging, and you and I somehow managed to talk tonight. I got A Hicks 7.
On Instagram. Instagram, I must be AM.
Nailed it. There it is.
So, yeah.
This is why we do 10 podcasts by the time we really get into it.
Yeah, maybe I should learn that by the time.
That's so funny.
But yeah, come check me out in there if you want, guys. And thanks so much for having me, Sean. This was a blast.
Oh. Indeed, it was a blast. Holy crap. Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for hitting liking and subscribe. Remember, follow Amanda on Twitter at Ahicks. Ahicks7. Ahicks. No M. I think Instagram there's an M in there. Amanda, thank you so much. The music, very calm going into that. Very surprising. You might be surprised to hear. That was a Mega Man song from OC Remix. Mega Man X4 Flight of the Peacock. I'll let you giggle at that one. Thank you for listening and for following me on Twitter at Sean Capri, Sean like Connor, Capri like the pants. To follow the website, We the Nerdy. I should have mentioned at the top of the show, I'll have a couple reviews going up. One for Soccer Slammers and the other for Soccer Slammers, of course, from Jules Watcham. Thank you for the code. And I will be streaming that very, very soon. Playing that a little bit. I had a couple hours over this weekend. And I feel like I'm not quite as high on it as everybody else. It's very enjoyable. I'm not as stoked about it. So, review coming up on that one. Also, there's a Zelda encyclopedia, a 300 and some odd page encyclopedia PDF that I have to comb through, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on that as soon as possible. Holy crap, why do I sign up for some of these things? Holy goodness gracious. That's on We the Nerdy. Thank you for following the show at We the GamerCast on Twitter. It helps more than you know. If that's the way of supporting, then I really appreciate it, guys. Tweeting and retweeting and liking, it all helps. Just power the algorithms. Do your part to power the algorithms. Remember, I'm on If We're on Nintendo Monday tonight. If We're on Nintendo with Jason Lacey. Jason Lacey, my good friend and my new host of, I think, probably the best show on the internet. Right next to the Xbox Drive, of course, that I do with my friend Dave Moore on a Skype call in a car. Please, if you guys like any of this stuff, if you wouldn't mind going over to patreon.com/makeusbetter, it would really help us out, continue to make us better, make the trophy room better. Go over to the site. There's a video, if you haven't checked it out already. Joseph Moran got his co-host Kyle a little something. Thanks to your guys' help at patreon.com/makeusbetter. The trophy room actively getting better right before your eyes. Remember, check out WeTheNerdy.com for all video game stuff and comic book stuff. Thank you to Gary Gray and Adam Leonard for drawing this stuff. Thank you for Antonio Guillen for making the video stuff. And thank you for Dayspace and Dave Moore for hosting this stuff. Otherwise, this is episode 154 of We the GamerCast. It's now in your ears and your eyeballs. I'll be back next week, actually Thursday, with Fiona McKinnon. You'll find out all about the E3 predictions and how we did on all that kind of stuff and more. Now it's time for Jason. Lincoln's gonna sleep in 3 minutes. I'm gonna talk to Mark Moody in 1 minute. Bye-bye.
Jason! 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 Sean! 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 Sean, where are you? Jason! 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 Sean! 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 Jason! 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 Jason!